farmhouse cottage style has become a beloved design trend, blending the cozy warmth of country living with the timeless charm of vintage elegance. Adding a layer of shabby chic vintage antiques takes this aesthetic to the next level, creating a home that feels both lived in and lovingly curated. In this guide, we'll explore ideas and tips for decorating your farmhouse cottage with shabby chic vintage antiques, focusing on the key elements that define this style. Vintage furniture, soft color palettes, rustic textures, and romantic decor. 1. Understanding the style. Farmhouse cottage meets shabby chic. The farmhouse cottage style is a blend of rustic charm and cozy comfort, characterized by natural materials, neutral colors, and simple, functional decor. It's about creating a space that feels welcoming and lived in, with a focus on comfort and warmth. Shabby chic, on the other hand, is all about vintage elegance. This style emphasizes weathered finishes, distressed furniture, and delicate, feminine details. Combining these two aesthetics creates a unique look that's both inviting and sophisticated. The main principles of this hybrid style include vintage furniture. Classic pieces with distressed finishes, like old wooden dressers, antique dining tables, and metal bed frames. Soft, neutral colors. A palette dominated by whites, creams, pastels, and soft grays. Rustic textures. The use of wood, stone, linen, and other natural materials. Romantic and feminine decor. Floral patterns, lace, and delicate, vintage accessories. Practical and cozy elements. Functional furniture, open shelving, and cozy textiles like wool throws and cotton cushions. Let's delve deeper into how you can incorporate these elements into each room of your home. 2. Living room. Creating a cozy and elegant space. The living room is often the heart of a farmhouse cottage, serving as a space for relaxation and gathering with family and friends. To bring in the vintage elegance of shabby chic, focus on the following elements. Furniture. Distressed and vintage finds. Start with a vintage sofa as the centerpiece of your living room. Look for a piece with a weathered wood frame and plush cushions in a neutral fabric. Pair it with an antique coffee table made of reclaimed wood or iron, featuring chipped paint or a distressed finish. If you have a larger space, consider adding a vintage armchair with a floral or striped pattern for a touch of classic cottage charm. Look for unique pieces like an old wooden chest to use as a coffee table or a vintage ladder repurposed as a blanket holder. The key is to mix and match items that look as though they've been collected over time, creating a sense of history and character. Decor. Romantic and timeless accents. Incorporate shabby chic accessories like antique mirrors with ornate frames, vintage picture frames, and old books stacked on shelves or coffee tables. Add a soft touch with lace curtains, floral throw pillows, and cozy knit blankets. Consider a vintage-inspired chandelier or a collection of candle holders for added elegance. A feature wall with a distressed paint finish can serve as a beautiful focal point in the room. You can create this effect using a white or pastel color with a paint technique that mimics peeling paint or worn surfaces, adding to the vintage, lived-in look. 3. Kitchen. Rustic charm meets vintage elegance. The kitchen is the perfect place to blend the rustic elements of farmhouse style with the delicate touches of shabby chic. Open shelving and vintage dishware. Replace upper cabinets with open shelving to display vintage dishware and glassware. Look for old, mismatched plates, cups, and bowls with floral patterns or delicate details. Arrange them on the shelves along with antique kitchen tools, mason jars, and old copper pots to enhance the vintage vibe. Furniture. Farmhouse table and antique chairs. A large, wooden farmhouse table is the ideal centerpiece for your kitchen. Choose one with a distressed finish to add character, and pair it with mismatched vintage chairs. You can also add a bench for a casual, cozy feel. For an extra touch of shabby chic, consider painting the chairs in soft pastel shades or using a whitewash finish. Accessories. Vintage finds and rustic details. Hang vintage signs, old-fashioned clocks, or antique kitchen utensils on the walls. Use enamelware or galvanized metal containers to hold kitchen essentials like utensils, spices, and flowers. A vintage-inspired rug in a soft floral pattern can add a splash of color and warmth to the space. 4. Bedroom, a romantic and serene retreat. The bedroom is a space where the romantic elements of shabby chic can truly shine. Creating a vintage-inspired cozy retreat is all about layering soft textures, elegant furniture, and charming decor. Bed, the centerpiece of vintage elegance. Choose an antique-style bed frame, such as an iron bed with a distressed white finish or a wooden frame with carved details. Layer it with soft linens in white or pastel colors, using a mix of lace, ruffles, and floral patterns. Add a vintage quilt or a knitted throw blanket for extra warmth and texture. Furniture, vintage dressers and nightstands. Opt for vintage dressers and nightstands with worn finishes and classic designs. A dresser with a distressed paint finish and antique brass handles can serve as a beautiful focal point in the room. Decorate the top with a collection of vintage perfume bottles, a vase of fresh flowers, or an old jewelry box. Accessories, feminine and delicate touches. Incorporate soft lighting with vintage-inspired lamps, such as those with crystal bases or floral pattern shades. Hang a delicate lace curtain or a canopy over the bed for a romantic touch. Antique mirrors, framed floral prints, and a collection of vintage postcards can be arranged on the walls to complete the look. 5. Bathroom, a charming and inviting space. The bathroom is often overlooked when it comes to vintage decor, but it's a great space to infuse with farmhouse cottage style and shabby chic elegance. Fixtures and furniture, vintage and rustic choices. Choose vintage-style fixtures, such as a clawfoot bathtub, a pedestal sink, and classic brass or copper faucets. A distressed wooden vanity or an antique dresser repurposed as a sink base can add a unique touch. Consider adding open shelving with wicker baskets for storage, displaying rolled-up towels, vintage glass jars filled with bath salts, and antique apothecary bottles. Decor, elegant and practical accents. Hang a vintage-style mirror with an ornate frame above the sink, and add soft, romantic lighting with wall sconces or a small chandelier. Use a vintage soap dish, a lace-trimmed shower curtain, and delicate floral arrangements to add a feminine touch. For an extra layer of charm, consider a small vintage stool or chair for seating or as a place to hold towels and toiletries. 6. Outdoor spaces, bringing vintage elegance to the garden. Don't forget to extend your farmhouse cottage and shabby chic style to your outdoor spaces. Creating a charming and inviting garden or patio can enhance the overall aesthetic of your home. Furniture, vintage finds and weathered pieces. Look for vintage metal chairs, an old wooden bench, or a wrought iron bistro set with a distressed finish. Add cushions in soft, floral patterns or pastel shades to make the space cozy and inviting. Consider setting up a small outdoor table with a vintage lace tablecloth and a collection of mismatched china for a charming tea area. Add an antique watering can filled with fresh flowers as a centerpiece. Decor, whimsical and romantic touches. Hang string lights or lanterns to create a warm, inviting atmosphere in the evening. Use vintage planters, such as old buckets, milk cans, or even a vintage wheelbarrow, to hold flowers and greenery. Add a bird cage, a weathered garden statue, or a collection of old gardening tools as decor. For a truly vintage look, consider adding a trellis with climbing roses or wisteria, creating a romantic backdrop for your outdoor space. 7. Final touches, personalizing your space. The beauty of combining farmhouse cottage style with shabby chic vintage antiques is that it allows you to create a space that's uniquely yours. Personalize your decor with family heirlooms, flea market finds, and items that hold sentimental value. Look for opportunities to upcycle and repurpose items, giving new life to old pieces. For example, turn an old window frame into a picture frame or a mirror. Repurpose a vintage suitcase as a side table or storage. Use an antique ladder as a decorative shelf. The key is to create a space that feels both curated and lived in, with a mix of new and old, rustic and refined. This style isn't about perfection, but about celebrating the beauty in imperfections and the charm of well-loved items. Conclusion: creating a timeless and cozy home. By blending farmhouse cottage style with shabby chic vintage antiques, you can create a home that's cozy, elegant, and timeless. This aesthetic is all about comfort, charm, and character, celebrating the beauty of aged items and the warmth of a lived-in space. Whether you're decorating a single room or your entire home, these ideas can help you create a space that feels welcoming, romantic, and full of history. In the end, the farmhouse cottage style with shabby chic elements is more than just a design choice, it's a way of life. It's about creating a home that feels like a retreat, a place where you can unwind and relax, surrounded by the things you love. By incorporating vintage finds, soft textures, and a mix of rustic and elegant decor, you can create a space that's not only beautiful but also uniquely yours. Alright, folks, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't be shy, it won't bite. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Free home decor tips delivered right to your screen. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell, or else your couch might just stay boring forever. Just kidding, but seriously, hit that bell. Let me know in the comments what you liked or what room you need help with next. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. I'll be here, with more ideas and probably more coffee.